Okay, trying again. So I made a video recently, and for my tiny little channel, it went like the equivalent of what viral would be if you could count like 1,000 views being viral. Obviously, that's not, but again, compared to the kind of views that I typically get on my channel, it felt like it went viral. So I thought I'd talk a little bit more about AI art. I have a few more thoughts about it, and well, in addition to that, I'm trying to test out some new equipment that I got for videos and recording. I'm hoping that I might be able to like record while painting, and so I like just kind of ramble, and just because it was fun, it was a lot of fun just to kind of ramble. So maybe I can do a little bit more of that, but while I paint, like do two things at the same time. But anyway, yeah, so AI art. Here's some things to think about. There's really just two more thoughts that I had related to AI art. Maybe I have some more thoughts, but like basically, I think it's best described as the situation of an athlete and somebody who's, watching an athletic performance, in the sense that when I ask myself, am I proud of what I've created, if I've created something using AI, the answer is probably never going to be yes. I don't think I'm ever going to be proud of what I made with AI. I could like what I made. I could think, oh yeah, that turned out good. I could be pleased with what I made for whatever reason. But I don't think that I'm actually going to feel proud about what I made, versus if I did make it myself, I would feel proud. And I think it's similar to like, say, creating a machine that runs. It simulates running. And so you've got a robot that runs, and it can run faster, obviously, than a human. But who's going to really think that like, oh, well, now nobody needs to run races anymore? And like, who would, we're still going to want to know how fast a human can run. And it's still going to be interesting to watch a human run a race against another human, or against the AI or whatever. We're still curious about what a human being is capable of, and so I think there's something similar in that in art. It's also kind of similar to the issue of tracing. I've thought a lot about that. I've traced before. I've traced some drawings and paintings, and it helps to make it look more like a photo. But then at some point, I kind of felt like, well, I'm not really I'm proud of certain things about it, maybe the application of the paint or how I shaded it in or whatever, but like, I know that I didn't really do that freehand, and I want to see if I can. I want to challenge myself. So at some point I started challenging myself to make things without tracing, and it took a while. There was like an awkward period, but I was able to make things look photorealistic eventually without tracing, and that to me was I felt really proud of that. So again, I think there's that aspect from the perspective of the artist of, feeling proud of what you've accomplished. But then even from the viewer, right? Like in knowing that a human made it, makes it more interesting. Just the way that knowing that a human ran the race and not a robot ran the race or whatever. So those are my thoughts. And I'm trying really hard not to take the perspective of like just, oh, AI art is bad. And I'm not saying that. I'm not coming at it from that perspective, or like, oh, we need to shut it down, or there's something immoral or wrong or creepy. Maybe there's something a little creepy about it, but I'm not really taking that perspective of like, I don't think that AI art, I mean, it might be in competition. I guess it kind of is in competition with people like, my wife made a series of illustrated books using AI, watercolor illustrations, and they're adorable. They're really, really cute for like alphabet and for young kids, and it was really cool. I have no problem with that, but definitely, I mean, you could say on one hand, oh, that's going to put illustrators out of a job. On the other hand, it just gave my wife the ability to produce a book. So my wife, being somebody who couldn't afford an illustrator, she can't even afford me, because the amount of time that it would have taken me to generate all those illustrations for her, I'm not going to do that. I got my own stuff going on, or like, she would have had to pay me and she can't afford to. So, she was able to produce this thing that she otherwise couldn't. So, maybe on one hand, it's giving people opportunities to produce things. And on another hand, it could be competing, because, you could say that a company that can afford to pay an illustrator now might not, because they can do what my wife did. At the same time, it's like more prestigious to have that illustrator. So if they can afford to do it, I feel like they probably will. I don't know. It's an interesting question, isn't it? I'm not coming at this from a perspective of like, I hate AI art, or I'm like super anti AI art. I'm not that interested in it, but I'm also not like extremely, like, I don't think like, oh, they need to shut it down or something. I almost see it like a challenge. Like, if artists can't rise to the challenge of AI art and show why we're still more interesting than an algorithm generating images, then what does that say about us, right? I think we can rise to that challenge. I think we should. It's like the gauntlet. We've been slapped with the glove or the gauntlet, and it's time to return that challenge and show what we can do, and the reasons why. Dive a little bit deeper into the reasons why art made by humans is more interesting. But these are my beginning thoughts. Maybe this conversation can go deeper. Maybe you can help me make this conversation deeper by putting your own thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to see what you think about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time, I guess.